to the $100 MBA Show, the business podcast that not only pumps you up, but gives you your practical, actionable lessons, the next steps you need to do in your business every single day with our daily 10-minute business lessons for the real world. I'm your host, your coach, your teacher, Omar Zenhom. I'm also the co-founder of the $100 MBA, a complete business training and community online. If you're just getting started with your business and you want to start building a business plan, but are just daunted by the thought of writing one, you got to check out our business plan template. It's a one-page business plan template, and you can get it done within 1 hour. Sounds pretty awesome, right? And it's completely free. It's one of our many free guides over at 100mba.net/guides. That's what we do over at the 100 MBA, help you make it happen. In today's episode, you will learn, when do you stop planning? In every project, in every business, in every product that you're building, you have an idea and you start planning out your implementation. You start planning out, how are you going to launch this thing? What are you going to price this product at? What is your sales page going to look like? What's the offer going to look like? What does it include? You're planning, but when does it stop? When do you say to yourself, that's enough planning, let's get to work, let's roll up our sleeves and start implementing? That's what we're going to be discussing today. And actually, the answer to that question, the actual action plan I'm going to give you today, is going to surprise you. But it's highly, highly effective, tried and tested, not only by me, but also by our students over at the $100 MBA Training and Community. Today, I'm going to give you a definitive guide of when to stop planning and start putting your plans into action. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get down to business. Today's episode of the $100 MBA Show is sponsored by Braintree. Looking to set up payments for your business? Braintree gives your app or website a payment solution that accepts just about every payment method with one simple integration. I love it. Plus, it'll give you your first $50,000 in transactions completely fee-free. To learn more, visit BraintreePayments.com/MBA. Again, that's BraintreePayments.com/MBA. All right, let me get into my strategy of knowing when to stop planning in any project. Now, to teach today's lesson, let's just all agree that any business starts with a single offer, one product, one thing for sale, one thing that you're offering your customers in exchange for their trust and their hard-earned dollar. You got to get in this mindset regardless of where you're at. Stop thinking about version 10 of your business and start thinking of version 1. What's going to make $1? What's going to make you profit? So now that that's settled, regardless of whatever you're offering, whether it's an informational product, a physical product, a service, a software, it doesn't matter. You got to have a minimal viable offer, a minimal viable product, something that's the smallest version, the simplest version of what you're offering. That's the goal. You need to get that out in the world. Now, planning for something that simple doesn't require a lot of time. In fact, you have to restrict yourself because the more time you spend planning it, the bigger the project's going to get, the less minimal viable it's going to be. And the point here of the minimal viable approach, this is the lean startup approach that Eric Ries talks about in his book, is that you want to put out the minimal viable idea out there before you start dumping more time, energy, and money onto it. You got to see if it has traction first. See if people actually want this thing. If they do, if there's a positive response, then we go back and then we go ahead and plan again and build upon that minimal viable. In my strategy, it's not plan for a long period of time and then implement for a long period of time. It's plan for a short period of time and implement for a short period of time. Then back to planning, then back to implementing. And this is why it's so important to start with a simple timeline. Now, regardless of the size of your project, you need to limit your time. And I want to say to you that your first initial planning for that product, that minimal viable product, which is going to be the base of your business, should not exceed 12 hours. Now, you can break that down into 2 days, you can break that down to a week, but the point here is that the total amount of time you should spend on planning, initial planning, is 12 hours. And my advice, don't interrupt planning with implementation, meaning that don't go back and forth. Dedicate the time to plan. Let's say, for example, your product is an informational product. One of our students at the $100 MBA, Jeff Chalmers, is the founder of DoubleBass.com. He teaches people how to play the double ace. So say, for example, he's coming out with a new course. He just should focus on the outline of the course. What's the course going to cover? What's the promise of the course? What is the price point of this course? What's the journey of the customer? What happens when they buy? What do they get? What emails do they get? How do they get access to this thing? What are the steps involved that Jeff has to take in order to build this course, whether it's scripting, recording the video, planning out that plan, uploading the videos to Wistia, putting it into his membership site, whatever that is. So this is the time to dedicate to planning. Put a time limit to it, 12 hours. Whatever you've gotten to that point at 12 hours, even if the whole plan is not complete, start implementing. Build the site, build the course, build the product, start doing. And in my experience, there's a 4-to-1 ratio when it comes to planning versus execution. So say, for example, you spent 12 hours on planning, you should be spending 48 hours on implementation. You got to start creating, you got to start doing, and then put it out there and see how it works. So the question is, when do you know when to stop planning? There's no sign, there is no signal, there's no stage where you should stop. There's a time limit you put to it. You constrict yourself. And once you stop planning, you start implementing. And once you've implemented that plan, the plan that you've come up with in the last 12 hours, you go back to what? What do you guess? Planning. How are you going to market this thing? How are you going to get more customers? How are you going to get more sales? Plan, put a time limit. You want to put another 12-hour time limit? Go ahead. My personal advice, you don't need that much time. I put 6 hours because the bulk of your planning is at the start. Then go ahead and implement that. Start marketing. Put those Facebook ads you put it into place. Do those webinars you promised yourself you're going to do to get more sales. That's how you know. Your time is up. That's how you know. And you might say, well, I need to make sure that I'm well planned and that I don't make any mistakes. You will make mistakes. Let me put you out of your misery. You will make mistakes as an entrepreneur, especially if you're just getting started. Count on it. But you should embrace it. That's how you learn. That's how you get better. And that's how you become one of the real successful entrepreneurs. Every successful entrepreneur has a series of mistakes they can share with you. You just don't hear about them because, they're not newsworthy. But trust me, I'll tell you from experience, mistakes are one of the best teachers that you can ever have. So don't worry about making mistakes. You will make them. Just accept that and keep moving forward. And trust me, there are very few mistakes that are irreversible, that are going to doom you for life. You just pick yourself up and keep moving forward. Keep implementing, keep planning. Guys, I got more on today's topic, but before that, I got to give love to today's sponsor, ContentMarketer.io. Guys, I recently learned about Content Marketer, and I really wanted to share it with you. ContentMarketer.io helps you easily promote content and connect with influencers and increase your traffic. How does it do that? Well, with Content Marketer, you can find anyone's contact, their email address or Twitter username, and reach out. This helps you reach the people you need to reach, whether that's a big client, an influencer that you need to reach, somebody that'll be the perfect user or customer for your product. One of Content Marketer's users, Usher, says, "It's seriously worth gold. It somehow magically fetches the personal email addresses of top influencers. And it's done with just a few clicks. After 25 minutes, I had built a list of 100 key people in my niche. Without ContentMarketer.io, the same job would have literally taken weeks." Now, guys, this is important. If you're trying to reach certain people in your industry so you can start working with them, so you can start having them as your mentor, you should have a list of people out there, and Content Marketer can help you get there. You can check it out for free for 14 days at ContentMarketer.io. Check it out. There's no credit card required, and you can cancel anytime. Again, that's ContentMarketer.io. Guys, here's a couple tips when it comes to using today's strategy about when to stop planning. One, we talked about don't mix planning with implementation, but two, don't second guess your planning. Sometimes the only way you're going to know if that was the right choice or the right plan is to try it out. You got to try it out. Reality is the best way to find out. See if it works. If it doesn't, switch it up and try something else. Second, don't sweat the details about how you plan, what app you use, Basecamp or Trello or Evernote, or maybe you just use paper and pen. It doesn't matter. Just get it done. Whatever way you feel comfortable, whatever actually helps you get the planning done, just do it. And actually, I recommend using something that you've used before, whether that's even Word or a text doc, because you don't want to waste time learning the software while you're trying to plan. And lastly, you got to stick to the deadline. Do not go over the hours that I mentioned, whatever you commit to when it comes to your planning phase, and have the confidence to start implementing the things that you've planned already. It's not the end of planning for the rest of your life. You can go back to planning once you've implemented the things you've already planned. All right, guys, I hope that helps. I hope today's insight was kind of a breath of fresh air, and it gives you something to do now when you start planning your next project. I really want to see you guys take on the stuff that I teach. And I would love to hear your experience when implementing the lessons we teach at the $100 MBA Show. Let me know on Twitter. My handle is BizRepublic, B-I-Z-Republic. Or you can always email us at contact@100mba.net. All right, guys, that's it for me today. But before I go, I want to leave you with this. Planning is important, but implementation is king. Ideas are a dime a dozen, but those who actually implement on their ideas are the ones that succeed. So when you're in that planning phase, those hours of planning where you're planning out what you're going to implement, you should be anxious to implement and not be so worried about what happens when you implement. A lot of us, we are worried what we were going to look like. How's this going to appear? Is this going to be successful? Is it going to fall flat? Let the results take care of themselves. Your job is to be disciplined with your planning and your implementation. Get to work, roll up your sleeves, and put it out there. You're a doer. You're somebody that creates things and makes things happen. And you can't be that person if you don't make things and make things happen. So just do it, make it happen, learn from the experience, improve upon it. That's your daily ritual, your daily habit, your mindset as an entrepreneur. All right, guys, I'll check you in tomorrow's episode, which is Free Ride Friday, where we give away a lifetime membership to the $100 MBA Training and Community. I'll see you then, guys. Take care.